It's Thursday the 25th of November here, and I hope wherever you are in the world you're having a great day and you're staying COVID safe and being kind to the people around you. Today I'm doing a very short video, and it's principally just to show off the last set of liveries that I have done, and in particular for a friend of mine named Gil, who has become very interested in my liveries, which is great. And of course anybody else that supports me, thank you as well. Hit a milestone about a week and a half ago with 800 followers in the game, and already I'm at 830 as of today, so things are accelerating and that's fantastic. I really appreciate the support. So I'm going to get straight into it because I just want to show the last liveries that I've done. There's probably about 8 or 9 that I'm going to show. Some of them are iterations of the same vehicle, but anyway, let's kick it off. And I think I'll start with the Lamborghinis because there's quite a few I can go through here. And I'll kick off with the Alpha Tauri, I think. Like I said, I've got quite a few, so we're going to see most of the ones you just saw then. And we'll do a bit of a showcase on those. Look, I'm just going to go straight into preview mode. I don't know whether I should do this in outdoor mode. I'll do it in outdoor mode actually, because I think that shows the colour more truly. And this is just a beautiful blue, you know, 10 out of 10 to the Polyphony guys for this colour, or recreating this colour. I believe it's an authentic car colour, but yeah, look, just want to do something really clean and really simple, but that had really good visual impact. And you know, the Alpha Tauri colour scheme on the F1 cars is great, so I thought I'd you know, basically do a version of that. This is probably one of the more simple liveries. I haven't even put my YouTube channel on the rear wing yet, and wasn't inclined to do so. I wanted to keep it really clean, but there's that Lamborghini Huracan, and this is what they call a GR4, which is one of the racing categories that you would see in GT racing around the globe. Anyway, that's enough about that car. Hope you like it. So we'll jump out of that one, we'll jump into the next Lamborghini, because it makes sense for us to do that. Like I said, I've been on a bit of a Lamborghini run at the moment. No, I won't go. I'll go beyond that one because that was done a fair while back now. Well, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think. And I'll go to this one. Yeah, this one. I probably should have started with the one to the left of it, but that's okay. So again, what these cars are what we call role play cars, and what I mean by that is in the game there's a derivative of the game that's played on some of the tracks called role play, and the idea of that is that you drive the vehicle around the track as if it is the open road. So you have road rules, you have police, you can get pulled over, you can have a breakdown, you can role play all these sorts of things. And look, it's kind of fun. It's certainly not everybody's cup of tea, but it's kind of fun to jump in there and have a bit of fun. And so what I wanted to do was create a series of liveries that are unique but are also quite feasible in terms of, you know, you seeing them being driven on the road. So not a fantasy livery, but more a pragmatic or practical livery. And I just love this combination. So as you can see, there's a gold chrome, so the whole car is actually painted in that gold chrome, and then I have effectively filled out the rest with black decals over the top to create the visual effect of this car. And what it's allowed me to do is then do iterations of it. So I'll just quickly jump out and show you a couple of those iterations that I've done, and you'll see it's essentially the same vehicle. They're each their own vehicle, but the livery itself is exactly the same. So we'll jump to this one first, which should be this one. I won't spend too much time showing you these because they are identical. The only thing that differentiates them is the base colour. So this one has what's called a silver colour shift. So you can see the fleck in that line, and it changes colour like a colour shift paint does. So that's allowed me to do that iteration, but otherwise it's identical to the car you just saw. So like I said, I won't spend too much time showing you each car. And these are all shared for those of you that play the game. If you go and do a search on Lamborghini and IFLOWBOY, IFLOWBOY, you should find these cars pretty quickly, I would imagine. And then we'll go to the blue one, and then I'll jump to another derivative of it that I've done. And I've done quite a few of them, and they're more unique, I guess, the other derivatives. So this one is exactly the same again, but this time I've gone for a fluorescent blue main or base color. So again, and I think I added a rear wing decal as well, yes, but otherwise it's exactly the same. And this one probably has the plate, which I haven't shown, but each of those ones I just showed you has a plate. So RP for roleplay, banded 6. I think, you know, there's 6 or 7 of these, so yeah, this is number 6. You'll see also I've changed the wheel. It's a different style of wheel from the other one, if you noticed. But I am a fan of the Hurricane shape. I have to confess, when I first saw it, because it was a replacement for the Gallardo, I wasn't really that enamored by it. I love the Gallardo shape, the really sharp angles of it, but I have to confess that the Hurricane has really grown on me, and now I love it. So, oops, sorry, wrong button, my bad. So then we'll go to the derivatives now, and we'll start off with the fluoro blue one. So again, the core of this livery is very similar to the one that you just saw, but I've done some derivative changes to it, and it's been quite effective. I really love this even in this really in-your-face bright blue color. It just, so you can see the bonnet and the roof are effectively the same, but I've added some front decals that weren't in the other ones, and then I've done a lot more on the side. Again, using the same principle of a base color and then black decals, and you can see some red as well to give it some extra visual impact. And that's banded 4. And again, different rims as well. So each of these derivatives has different rims off the top of my head. So let's jump to the next one. A lot of times I get asked about how long it takes to do these liveries. It really depends. You know, a little bit of work goes into the initial one, but then the other ones subsequently, that's all about the time of choosing the colours. I really love this one. I really love this colour. It's, I don't know, it just really strikes me. You can see I've got the same rims as the initial, but these are now chrome, I think. I think they're chrome. They might still be metallic or liquid metallic, which is what it's called. But I just really love this cherry red sort of colour. It's a slightly matte finish, but it just looks really effective on the car. And I think even though the livery is exactly the same, I think by virtue of the colours, oops, sorry, my bad, push the wrong button. By virtue of the colours, I think they do each have their own character, if that makes sense. I'm going to go to the even brighter one. If you can imagine, there's a brighter car than that. This one is brighter, and then there'll be one more in this series, and then I'll jump to a couple of others, including a livery that's entered in a competition tonight for the round of league racing that I'll be doing tonight. It's the first round of the Oz GT Esports series that we race on a Thursday night. So yeah, this one's a very bright fluoro yellow, again with different rims, but I think the rims really make this car. It's, yeah, you can't go quietly with this one. It is in your face, literally. But I love it. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm just mindful of how long this video is for. I don't want it to be long. I don't want Gil to be too distracted by it. And then the final one, I don't know if this is my favourite or not. It's actually the first iteration of it that I did. And I do really like it. But I always like this combination of chrome, silver and black. If you go through my garage, you'll see there's quite a few cars that are black, silver and chrome. But it just, yeah, again, it just, I don't know, it just looks mean to me, but it also looks classy at the same time. Yeah. Bandit 1, there you go. So yes, so in the last 2 or 3 weeks I've actually purchased about 6 or 7 of these Hurricanes so I can do this series. Okay, a few more Lamborghinis quickly that I've done, not too many more. Raise series. Start off with the blue. Taking a while to load for some reason. So this is the same car. Now, again, I've tried not to overcomplicate it, so you don't see a lot of decals on the car. Raise is a wheel manufacturer, if you don't know. That wheel you can see on the bonnet, I actually made in the livery editor tool to copy the rim on the car. So that's the real rim, and that's the copy that I did of it. Probably took me about an hour and a half to do that because I had to get it right. I think I did a pretty good job. I really love the challenge of making things in the livery editor and using the you know, what are essentially crude tools in the livery editor. Don't get me wrong, Polyphony guys, I love the livery editor. You've done an exceptional job with it. But, you know, to be fair, to compare it to a graphic program running on a PC or something, it's not the same type of tool. So that's the blue one. I'll jump to the red one now, which is essentially the same car. It's just done with a red paint. So we'll just do a quick look at that. Then I'll jump into a couple of the others. And then there's a few other cars to show after that. So I'm hoping if I talk less and show you more, I'll get this done within 20 minutes. In my defense, obviously the loading of each car takes time too. So yeah, you can see it's the same car, same decals, same livery design, but I wanted to have an option of a red car as well, so I can, you know, just depend on my mood, I guess, decide which of the cars I want to drive / race. Yeah, and these ones have the number plate of racing, so there you go. Alright, let's jump out of that one. Still going to stick with Lamborghini because I said to Gil there were a couple of cars that I wanted to show him that I thought he'd be impressed by, including that livery competition Lamborghini, which will be the next one I show, and that'll be the last Lamborghini. For any of you that like drinking and like Jägermeister, this is the third Jägermeister livery that I've done. I've done one on a racing Beetle, yes, a Group 3 racing Beetle. There is such a thing in this game. And also on a BMW E92 M3 GR3. So that's the three. I haven't actually, I think I've done a photo of the three of them together and I posted it, but yeah, I quite like this. I think it suits the GT3 Lamborghini. You can see it's got a lot more aerodynamic on it than the GT4 or GR4 car. That's because this is a higher category and more modifications are allowed because they're a faster car. So yeah, that's the Jägermeister Lamborghini GR3 Huracan. Okay, now to the HP Lamborghini that I've entered in the livery comp for the league. So every week in our league, the person that runs the league, Steve's his name, lovely bloke, picks a topic or a category for us to do a livery on for these 70s and 80s cars that we're racing as part of the series. We do a mix of cars, but we're doing 70s and 80s cars. We're doing a selection of cars, and so this week it was computers. So I chose Hewlett Packard or HP, and I thought I wanted to do something different, and so this is what I came up with. And as you can see, it's pretty out there with the keyboard on the bonnet and on the side of the car, just emphasizing, I guess, the link between a keyboard and a computer. But I didn't want to put computer screens, and the HP logo, to to be fair, if you can see it at the top there, isn't exactly a bright and complicated logo. So I thought, how can I make it stand out more? And I just thought about it and came up with the idea of putting the keyboard on the side. And you can see I've tried to integrate the keyboard with the lines that highlight the sloping nature of the bonnet and also of the rear end as it slopes away. And the keyboard on the back as well, and then a bit of decal work on the roof. And again, because the Lamborghini Countach, this is the 25th anniversary Countach, which came out in 1988, and as you can see, it's a very angular car. So again, I've tried to go with perpendicular angles and things like that with the livery. So there you go, Gil. I hope you like that. It is pretty out there. I can't imagine somebody ever driving down the street in a Lamborghini with a decal or livery like this, but you never know. Maybe one day somebody might. G'day Ethan, how you going, mate? Yeah, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is jump away from Lamborghinis now and just grab a couple of other cars that I've done, and I'm just scanning the screen to see if they're actually on the screen right now. This one's fairly new, so I'll show that one as well. No, I don't think I will be. I know that JD, sorry, I'm just replying to Ethan's message on the screen. I don't think I will. Yeah, I just think it's, oops, sorry. I haven't fully decided yet, but it's unlikely, Ethan. So this is a Dodge Hellcat, and so I've done a livery denoting the SRT component, which is the, if you like, the part of Dodge that does the high performance cars for them. And I've tried to mix a bit of old and new there with that treatment of the roof. Like the old days when you used to see a lot of vinyl type roofs, and they weren't full roofs, they were part roofs in the vinyl. So I've tried to put that into the design. Should be on real cars, yeah. Yeah, well, if there were enough people out there that would pay for it to be done and I had the time to do it, then I probably would, Ethan, I probably would. So that's the Dodge. Now we might jump to a couple of Porsches off the top of my head. They're fairly new. So let's go have a look at a couple of Porsches that I've done recently. And where are they hiding? That's one. And this is also what I think is a relatively clean... Ooh, that's interesting. Some decals could not be loaded. This is only like 2 weeks old, if that, this livery. Anyway, interesting that some decals are not available already. Yeah, so this is a 1985 Turbo 911 or 993, I think. Anyway, and I just used the Australian Super Cheap Auto brand logo on it. This was part of the same livery competition we ran last week, and I did 2 cars. This wasn't the car that I actually meant to enter, but unfortunately for Steve, I don't think he saw the other one, and so he thought this was the one that was entered in the competition. But I'll show you the one that I actually entered into the competition in a minute. But yeah, it's got some clean lines. It's been quite popular when I shared it. Got a lot of positive reaction, which is great. So yeah, so I'll show you the other portion, then I'll jump to that actual car that I was meant to be entered in the last week's livery competition. And the second one is this one. Yeah, there's a couple there that aren't finished yet, but this is the one that I've just recently done as well. This is a shell livery, and I did a bit of fade work on this one with a chrome base again. Sorry, outdoor mode, my bad. I've run out of time already. It's already 21 minutes. I've failed. Sorry, Gil and everybody else watching. So I wanted to do something different with this livery, so I've done the shell logo around the front wheel arch, which on some angles looks quite clever and good, but then on other angles it looks a bit clumsy. But you know, I want it to be different, so I'm happy with it. And it transitions to a yellow similar to the shell yellow. Number plate portion. Yeah, it's a different livery. Again, it's been reasonably popular, but I also get that it could be polarizing too for some people. Yeah. So that's that livery. Alright, now I'll bring up the Super Cheap Auto livery that was actually meant to be the one that should have been entered into the competition last week, but unfortunately for Steve, he didn't realise it was this one. And this is it right here. Because this was the car. It's the same decals not loaded either. That's interesting. Yeah, this was the car I actually raced in the particular round. And I actually prefer this livery over the Porsche livery, to be honest. Other people might not. But I really like it. Number plate is Super M, because it's an M3, an old E30 M3. Circa 85, I think, maybe, something like that. I should know, but I'm sorry I don't. I should know that. Yeah, that's that one. Alright, not many more to go, so sorry for going over what I thought would be a quick livery demo. I'm just going to do a quick scroll down because it'll probably be quicker to find the cars that I want to show you that are new. This one is new, so I'll show you that. And I will definitely talk less and just spin around the car and then jump to the next one. So this again is used a chrome base, a blue chrome. You can see the shine of the chrome just there as I angle it. And this is a drift car. It's called a BRZ Turn 4 because it's sponsored by a company called Turn 4. But I've obviously re-liveried it, and it's a beast of a car to drive because it's got a whopping big V8 that produces nearly 1,000 horsepower. So, and the turbo boost when it comes on is just frightening. Anyway, that's the car. This has also been quite popular. Alright, next. Maybe I can get this done in 30 minutes, I apologise. Just going to have a quick look down and see if there's anything else that's new. And if there's not, I'll go straight to the last 2 cars. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that and go to the last 2 new cars if I can find them. Go back down. Just saw one, but I want to show the other one first. And it appears to be hiding from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a cheat here. I'm going to do this, and then I can select it that way. Okay, so I've tried to do, this is a Chevy Nova, and as you can see, it's a car that was built in the 60s, the mid to late 60s, but I've always adored this. It's just a classic elegance around this two-door car. Just a clean looking design to me. You know, it doesn't have ridiculous big rear wings, it doesn't have, you know, things that stick out or anything like that. But I wanted to try and do you know, a retro style of livery, so this is what I came up with. I used what would probably regard as a retro kind of tone or colour, and then just did the half roof again, and did the, you know, the detailed striping work down the side, and a bit of colour fade at the bottom there. And yeah, I quite like the result myself. It's been reasonably popular, not huge, but I get it. It's not a colour that would be to everybody's tastes. And then that leads me to the last car I want to show, and that car is right here. It's the same car but a different livery, and this one probably pays more homage to the livery or style of livery that used to be done on these cars. So this one actually has a chrome base, so you can see that chrome there, and so I've used that to create my divider, if you like, in partitioning the red and the black. And then I've gone with that traditional white roof. And I call both of these cars Nova Coat because it's a Nova. And I might do a few more yet in the same sort of series, but at the moment I don't have any plans to. I haven't shared this livery. I plan to share it tonight, so I'll be interested to see what reaction it gets when I do share it. But yeah, I really like it. Alright, so I apologise, Gil. I thought I could do it in 10 minutes, but I talked too much. I'm sorry. For anybody else watching the broadcast and you didn't anticipate this broadcast going for 27 minutes, I apologise as well, or 28 by the time I finish. Thanks very much for watching, as always. Please subscribe to my channel. Please leave feedback or comments. That's always helpful. And particularly tell me what stuff you'd like to see, or if there's any style of livery you'd like to be done. It's one way for you to pop a comment in there, and I'll check those comments, and you know, if I can, I'll accommodate you and try to build a livery on that. I do have a couple in progress that will be shared or dropped you know, in the next few days, most likely over the weekend, because I'll probably be too busy with work. But yeah, until then, thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for your support. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and stay safe and be kind to those around you. Cheers, everybody.